The laughter started quietly, just a few snickers from the back row of the gymnasium bleachers. Then it spread. Within seconds, the entire room seemed to ripple with it. Parents whispered behind their hands. Teenagers elbowed each other and pointed. Even a few younger kids giggled openly. Standing awkwardly at the edge of the blue wrestling mat was a man in faded janitor coveralls. Holding a mop handle he had forgotten to set aside. His name was Daniel Harper, and right now, he looked like he wished the floor beneath him would simply open up and swallow him whole. Daniel hadn't meant to walk into the middle of the wrestling team's demonstration. He had only been doing what he always did, cleaning up after a long school day. Lincoln Middle School's gym smelled faintly of sweat, rubber mats and floor polish. It was late afternoon, and the bleachers were packed with parents who had come to watch the school's annual youth sports showcase, where students demonstrated different activities offered at the school. Basketball drills had just ended. The wrestling team was next. Daniel had been quietly mopping near the far wall, keeping his head down like he usually did. Most people barely noticed him. After 2 years working as the school's janitor, he had grown used to being invisible. But today was different. Coach Ramirez had called out to one of his wrestlers to demonstrate a move, but the student suddenly felt sick and ran off to the locker room. The coach scanned the room, clearly frustrated. "Anyone want to volunteer?" he asked with forced enthusiasm. No hands went up. Then someone in the crowd joked loudly, "Hey, use the janitor." Laughter erupted. Coach Ramirez chuckled awkwardly. "All right, funny guy." But then a group of teenage boys started chanting, "Janitor! Janitor! Janitor!" Daniel froze. He slowly turned, realizing they were pointing at him. His cheeks flushed deep red. "Oh, no," he said quickly, raising a hand. "I'm just cleaning." More laughter. "Come on," one parent called jokingly. "He looks strong." Daniel wasn't small. Years of physical work had built thick shoulders and solid arms, though his posture made him appear smaller than he really was. Coach Ramirez walked over, half smiling. "Hey, it's just for demonstration," he said quietly. "No pressure." Daniel hesitated. His eyes briefly flicked toward the bleachers. Near the middle row sat a small boy with curly brown hair and bright eyes. The boy waved excitedly. "Dad!" Daniel felt his chest tighten. His son, Ethan, 10 years old, his whole world. Ethan had begged him to come watch the showcase after school. Daniel had agreed, even though he still had cleaning duties to finish. Now every kid in the gym was laughing at his father. Daniel saw Ethan's smile slowly fade as the laughter grew louder. Something inside him shifted. Not anger, something quieter. Determination. Daniel slowly set the mop aside. The gym became a little quieter as he stepped onto the mat. "You sure?" the coach asked. Daniel nodded. "Just tell me what to do." A tall 8th grade wrestler stepped forward to partner with him. The boy, Tyler Briggs, was the school's star athlete, nearly 6 feet tall already and broad-shouldered. Tyler grinned smugly as he approached. "You ever wrestled before, sir?" he asked loudly enough for everyone to hear. More laughter from the crowd. Daniel gave a small shrug. "Not really." Tyler winked at his teammates. Coach Ramirez clapped his hands. "All right, we'll demonstrate a simple takedown. Tyler will show the double leg technique." Tyler crouched into wrestling stance. Daniel copied him awkwardly. The coach began explaining the move to the audience. "Tyler will shoot in, grab both legs, and drive forward." Tyler lunged. But the moment his hands reached Daniel's knees, something changed. Daniel's body moved in a way that no one expected. His foot slid back. His hips turned. His arm wrapped smoothly around Tyler's shoulder. In one fluid motion, Tyler lifted off the mat and landed on his back, hard. The entire gym went silent. Coach Ramirez blinked. Parents leaned forward. Tyler stared up at the ceiling, stunned. Daniel immediately stepped back and extended a hand. "Sorry," he said quietly. Reflex. Tyler slowly accepted the help up, confusion written all over his face. Coach Ramirez studied Daniel more carefully now. "You said you've never wrestled?" Daniel rubbed the back of his neck. "Well, not exactly." The coach folded his arms. "Care to explain?" Daniel hesitated. All eyes in the gym were on him. He glanced at Ethan again. The boy looked wide-eyed. Daniel sighed softly. When I was younger, he said, I wrestled in college. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Division II, Daniel added quickly, as if minimizing it. Coach Ramirez's eyebrows shot up. What school? Boise State, Daniel said. Now the coach looked impressed. That's not nothing. Tyler stared at him. Wait, you were a college wrestler? Daniel nodded. A long time ago. What happened? Someone in the audience asked. Daniel paused. His eyes drifted briefly to Ethan again. Then he spoke quietly. My wife got sick. The gym fell completely still. Cancer, he continued. When Ethan was 3, a few parents lowered their heads. I left school to work full-time. Wrestling scholarships don't cover hospital bills. His voice remained calm, but there was weight behind every word. She passed 2 years later. Silence spread through the gym like a heavy blanket. Daniel shrugged slightly. After that, I just focused on raising Ethan. Coach Ramirez looked thoughtful. And you became a janitor. Daniel smiled faintly. Flexible hours. Close to my son's school. In the bleachers, Ethan's eyes filled with tears. The room felt different now. The earlier laughter seemed distant and embarrassing. Coach Ramirez cleared his throat. Well, Mr. Harper, he said slowly, how about we turn this into a real demonstration? Daniel raised an eyebrow. Coach Ramirez looked at Daniel. Think you still remember how to move? Daniel chuckled softly. I'm older now. Wrestling's like riding a bike, the coach said. You never forget. Daniel glanced at Ethan again. The boy whispered something from the bleachers. You got this, Dad. Daniel exhaled. All right, he said. One by one, the wrestlers stepped forward. And one by one, they were taken down. Not violently, not aggressively. Daniel moved with calm precision, showing technique rather than strength. Each takedown was smooth, controlled, almost graceful. Parents began whispering again, but now with admiration. Coach Ramirez started narrating the moves like an excited commentator. Look at that hip control. Did you see that sweep? By the time the last wrestler stood up, the entire gym was watching Daniel with new respect. Tyler wiped sweat from his forehead. Sir, he said, breathing hard, you should be the coach. Laughter returned, but this time it wasn't mocking. Daniel smiled. I already have a full-time job. Coach Ramirez stepped forward. You ever consider helping with the team? Daniel blinked. What? We could use someone like you, the coach said. Even just part-time. Daniel looked stunned. I don't know. Dad! Ethan shouted. Everyone turned toward the bleachers. The boy stood up, face glowing with pride. You should do it! Daniel's eyes softened. Coach Ramirez grinned. Sounds like your assistant coach already decided. The crowd chuckled. Daniel looked around the gym, the same place where minutes earlier he had been the subject of laughter. Now people were smiling, clapping, respecting him. He thought about the long nights cleaning hallways, the quiet dinners with Ethan, the life that had shrunk after his wife passed. Maybe something new could grow here. Daniel extended his hand. I'd be honored. Coach Ramirez shook it firmly. The gym erupted into applause. But the moment Daniel would remember most didn't come from the crowd. It came from the small pair of arms that suddenly wrapped around his waist. Ethan. The boy hugged him tightly. You're the coolest dad ever, he whispered. Daniel knelt down and hugged him back. No, Daniel said softly. I'm just a janitor who never quit. Ethan shook his head. You're more than that. Daniel smiled. Maybe the boy was right. Sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones standing in the spotlight. Sometimes they're the ones quietly cleaning the floors, until the moment life calls them onto the mat. And when that moment comes, they rise, not to prove others wrong,